is that it has these, I don't know, there's something about it. I'm going to explain it, and then you guys can use and probably help me how to explain Surah Al-Haqqa. Surah Al-Haqqa, you could see they're short ayat, and it's actually Makkiyah. So what does that actually mean? The people of Quraysh were not ready to listen, and that's why the ayat were actually short, because the people were not ready to listen. You needed fast and short messages, and they were in complete doubt of those ayat. So the ayat, it started with al-haqqa. The word al-haqqa actually comes from the ultimate truth, the absolute reality, the absolute truth that no one can actually deny. But it was actually, continue again, mal-haqqa. Can you really fathom what that ultimate truth, the situation that you can never deny whatsoever, which is why it said malhaqa. And the word al-haqqa, yes, it's referring to the judgment day, but it actually called it al-haqqa because it's telling you that that's the day that there's no way that anyone can, one, fathom the whole situation, can get an idea or even comprehend of how real that day is like. It's a reality that you cannot deny. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْحَاقَّةُ. When it actually says وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ, it doesn't want to tell you that, oh, it's nothing that you can understand. It actually wants to tell you, well, I'm going to explain to you just an idea of what it actually might be like, because you cannot totally understand what it's like, but I'll give you an explanation of what it's like. One part of it. Well, you see that day al-Haqqa, there's something and someone had actually denied before the power of the Lord Almighty to bring about an ultimate ending to their entertainment, to their life, to all that they were doing, because they actually thought that life was about making a civilization or modernization or entertainment and just living life for the sake of life. So the ayah tells you, well, you see, al-Haqqa, many before you had denied it. The one of those nations, or some of those nations, Thamud. Thamud was basically an ancient civilization, but the Quran wanted to tell you it wasn't a civilization. It was nothing but a modernization, a group of people that wanted to focus on building monuments. Yes, indeed, they did manage to build those great monuments, but they actually thought that they had gotten to the bottom of earth, to the bottom of what it means to control the world. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Thamud before you, they had denied that. And Ad, they also denied al-Haqqa, and they not denied al-Qari'ah. They denied the day that there would be a magnificent blast, which is al-Qari'ah, that would actually bring an end to all the effort that they were trying to put in their life. Why did it actually say al-Qari'ah when it was talking about al-Haqqa? It was basically telling you, you see, al-Haqqa is speaking about an ultimate truth of everything in a way where you cannot deny it, not by your hearing, not by what you're seeing, not by how you sense it, in its ultimate truth, and where all your senses will recognize that it is the ultimate truth. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us, Ad denied the sound of it. They thought that the sound, they denied one aspect of it. They thought that it was impossible for a blasting sound to actually bring an end to their civilization. As for Thamud, فَأُهْلِكُوا بِالطَّاغِيَةِ. Thamud, they actually thought that they got to the bottom of everything. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, well, Thamud, they were they were uhliku, they were destructed بالطاغية. What is a طاغية? A طاغية is something that goes to the surface. Beyond it goes beyond anybody's ability to handle it. So what happened? Why did it actually describe it as a طاغية? Because Thamud actually thought that they went beyond all, and they were capable of, just like they were capable of getting control over the mountains and building all those great magnificent monuments. They thought they got to the bottom of the creation, to the bottom of the world. They thought that if we could manage to control and have control over the mountains, then surely we can go further and further and gain control over more about the world. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says al-taghiyah, because they had thought that they went to the limit. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought them to the end of their limit. Their limit was destructed. وَأَمَّا عَادٍ, as for Ad, فَأُهْلِكُوا بِرِيحٍ صَرْصَرٍ عَاتِيَةٍ, they were destructed by a wind, just a wind that was sarsar. It was so cold. The wind was so cold and so strong that it actually brought Ad and all the civilization that they had built with just by the wind, completely destructed. سخرها عليهم. It was subjugated on them for 7 nights and 8 days. Very cold days. Do you see anything of their remains? All you would see is their own corpse standing as if they were just empty logs and empty logs of palm trees. Do you see anything of their remains? Everything is gone. Everything has become history, as if they did not exist. Well, let's go and actually speak of the other nations. وجاء فرعون ومن قبله, in the nations before, المؤتفكات, and the nations of قوم لوط, they had come with the major sin. فعصوا رسول ربهم. They had went against the prophet of the Lord Almighty, and then he took them with one blasting shake. أخذة رابية. It was one whole أخذة. It was like taking them entirely and bringing them to a final uproot. إنا لما طغى الماء حملناكم في الجارية. When the water had gone into a major flood, we had carried you into this ship, into that ark, in order to make it a reminder for you and for the ears to comprehend, but not any ear. There are ears that just listen but don't recognize, and there are ears where it goes past their ears and reaches their hearts. فإذا نفخ في الصور نفخة واحدة, with just one blow. That's in order to bring about that recognition. Notice here where it tells you القارعة, it's blasting to the ears, and the other one was blasting to their surrounding, and the other one was basically أخذة. It was just totally taking them away. And then this one was in order to tell us, well, even though it's not actually in the chronology of how they had actually come in history, but this is in order for us to recognize that, hey, if you thought that you can control the mountains, and if you thought that you can control the plants and control the different things that surround you, or if you thought that you controlled and you got a hold of understanding science and understanding the world, well, remember that day when the people of Qawm Nuh, when they had far exceeded their limit, and then لنجعلها لكم تذكرة, when Prophet Nuh alayhi salam was saved, it was a reminder for you, and in order for those ears that want to comprehend and understand, to comprehend it deeply. If the horn was blown into just one blow. The earth is then carried, and the mountains are then with one dekka, with one blast, with one touch. And what happens to it? That's the day that will mark الواقعة, the day that everyone did not expect. The day الواقعة, the day of يوم القيامة. That was called, that's the true day. That all our creation, all mankind, all and everything in the world was created for this particular day, for this purpose. The day when the heavens would rip open, and then it becomes so weak, when the angels are all around carrying your Almighty's throne up above them, with 8 angels carrying their Lord Almighty's throne. On that day, you will be exposed, not one thing hidden or concealed about you. As for those that were granted their book, their what had recorded their deeds in their right hand, they will yell out, "Ha umqra'u kitabiya." They will yell out, "Come and read the book that I had done, the book that collected and recorded all my good deeds. إني ظننت أني ملاق حسابية." I was sure, I was very sure that I will be finding the day of my accountability. Then he will be living a life of being content, a life of pleasure. في جنة عالية, in a heaven so high, with its fruit so near down to them. Eat and drink with happiness and pleasure for all what you have done on those days when you had no support. As for those that will be given their books in their left hands, they will yell out with complete sorrow, with complete sadness, "Ya laytani lam uta kitabiya." I wish I was never granted and given my book, the book that contained my records, and I wish I never knew of my day of accountability. I wished this was the end of my ever existence. Now, all the things that I had owned at one day, my money, all the different property, everything is now nothing of what is whatsoever bring me of any use. All the authority is now gone. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yells out, خُذُوهُ فَغُلُّوهُ, take him and shove him down in the hellfire, and let him be exposed on the blazing heat, and then tie him with a 70-yard of chains, and tie him up and then throw him deep in the hellfire. He did not believe in the mightiness of your Lord Almighty, and he was not ordering and recommending that people would feed the poor people. Today, there's no friend for him. There's no dear friend and no food but the food of the pus that is coming out of the people of hellfire. Only the ones that have transgressed the limit will be the ones to eat from this. And by the things that you see and you don't see, this and these are the words of your prophet that is a generous and an honorable prophet. They are not the words of a poem or a poet, and very few of you actually think it is. And it is not surely the words of a sorcerer or a magician, and very few of you would recognize Tanzilum min Rabbil Alameen. It is only a revelation from your Lord, the Lord of the worlds. And if he were to claim these words or any words on the Lord Almighty and attribute it to Allah, we would have forsaken it from him. And we would have disconnected the main vein that connects from his heart and arteries to his brain. And then none of you would be capable of giving him any type of support or any type of healing. But it only contains a reminder for those that seek religious integrity. And we know that some of you are in denial, and we know that some of it is going to be a remorse for il-kafirin, for those that were in denial. And it is nothing but the ultimate truth that no one can deny. So praise your Lord Almighty, the Lord, the magnificent Lord Almighty, the Lord that is most high and most great.